tank. He's good at setting traps. Has crazy power that he believes in. He has a great chin too because he's a guy. He'll let you get out punches and he'll still be coming at you. And then once he catches you, it's a wrap.
He has very good skills. He's one of my favorite boxers. He able to win this fight.
All-time greats. Crawford's one of the best switch hitters, I think, since Marvin Hagler, and one of the most skillful boxers alive.
Errol Spence was shocked after seeing Terence Crawford's insane training for the Canelo fight. He's fought the guy before, but even he couldn't believe what he saw. Crawford's speed? Unreal. His footwork? Deadly. Spence admitted it straight up. Crawford looks like a whole different beast now. Sharp, explosive, and locked in like a killer. And here's the crazy part. Spence basically warned Canelo, if you're sleeping on this version of Crawford, you're getting knocked out. Period. When Terence Crawford talked about his fight with Errol Spence, there was clear respect, but also quiet dominance. Crawford, known for his calm and smart style, explained how he slowly breaks opponents down before unleashing violent flurries. It's not just boxing, it's calculated destruction.
How hard does Spence hit?
He didn't hit that hard.
But he never caught you that clean. That was probably the best shot he landed.
No, he caught me a couple of times, but I was surprised at how hard he didn't hit.
Really?
And given that everybody say, oh, he's a big puncher, he's this. I think he's just a volume puncher. I think he just wears opponents down, just wear them down. I don't think, he has a one punch knockout. He have power, but it's not like, boom, sleep. I think it's like, bam, oh, boom, 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 boom. And then he just wear you down.
Right, yeah. That is a difference, right?
Because if you look at his career, you never seen him knock nobody out with one punch. You never see him, dropping nobody with one punch. You always see him wearing them down. That's why he goes so hard to the body, because he want to wear you down. Then once you get tired and once your body start weakening, everything start weakening. And those little punches that wasn't hurting start hurting.
Former world champ in boxing, analyst Chris Algieri, didn't hold back when comparing Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. He said Crawford dominates every fight and always stays in control, unlike Canelo, who's been clearly outclassed at times. Just look at his loss to Dimitri Bivol, where Bivol's size, jab, and discipline completely shut Canelo down. Algieri's take adds fuel to the fire. Crawford may be moving up in weight, but his control, skill, and ring IQ could give Canelo serious problems, just like Bivol did.
And Terence Crawford, who do you think can be the boss that night? When you talk about these two guys, you talk about two guys, number one, you can't boss me around.
Yep.
Two guys, you can't even look at me a certain way without me feeling some type of way. These guys now have set their sights on one another. Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. Obviously, we know the weight difference, but we've seen Crawford, looks like he's coming up slowly to that weight class and kind of acclimating himself in real time. How do you see that fight playing out?
We're still pretty far away from that fight, and I'm going to hold my complete analytics on that, but I'll tell you this.
Contrast and compare, maybe not a pick.
But I'll tell you this. I've seen Canelo pushed around. I've never seen Terence pushed around. So if we talk about who's going to be the boss, I've never seen anyone boss Terence Crawford. I've seen Canelo get bossed. So that psychologically, when you think about that, and this is a fight where I flip-flop on both guys because there's so many good points. Yeah, but he's 168. Yeah, but it's Terence Crawford. He's undefeated. Well, yeah, no, this guy's beating this, but stylistic, even he hits him on the arm. There's so many different things you can talk about. But from a psychological standpoint, who's fresher, who's meaner, who wants it more? That's going to come into play.
As a boxing fan, how much fun is it to see those two attitudes come together? It's kind of like the unstoppable force versus the immovable object getting ready to collide.
I've worked a lot of Canelo fights, and Canelo fight weeks are great. He plays to the crowd really well. His fans are awesome. I'm thinking about the Caleb Plant situation. I'm thinking about the Billy's Joe Saunders situation. When he gets that in his head that he's got an extra chip, he becomes a really dangerous man.
Veteran analyst Max Kellerman gave a fair breakdown, but his conclusion shook things up. He said Crawford has the edge right now. While both fighters have their strengths, Kellerman pointed to Crawford's insane timing, switch hitting skills, and rising knockout power. Meanwhile, Canelo, still dangerous, has clearly slowed down, especially with his footwork and intensity. Sure, Canelo's size could help in clinches, but when you stack up speed, defense, and adaptability, Kellerman made it clear. Crawford's the more complete and sharper fighter today.
Counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size, and as a result, physical strength and punching power. Canelo also has a great chin. But in terms of, if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him. But in recent years at super middleweight, he's gotten really good at cutting off the ring. Again, last fight notwithstanding. So as an overall suite of skills, recent vintage, it's been Crawford. Okay. But Canelo also is skilled and has a larger skeleton than Crawford. No matter what they weigh, Canelo's the bigger guy.
Yeah. You briefly mentioned Canelo's power, so who? I would assume Canelo has the
You'd have to think, unless Crawford was on a knockout streak until he moved up to junior middleweight and then failed to stop Madrimov. So, and Canelo, though he has not stopped anyone in a while, we've seen he's a real puncher at 68.
As far as speed, who has a better speed?
You would imagine Crawford, given the fact that he is the naturally smaller fighter.
This mega fight has wild dynamics. Crawford is stepping into risky territory by moving up in weight, something that can kill speed and stamina. But Canelo, though used to this weight, isn't the same beast anymore. Lately, he's struggled to get knockouts and now fights more cautiously, a far cry from the pressure fighter he once was. That decline evens the odds. If Crawford shows up with his footwork, high fight IQ, and gas tank, there's a real chance he exposes the cracks in Canelo's game and walks out with the win.
For Canelo, obviously at 168, he has been a bit of the smaller man at that weight class. And in the last couple of years has had trouble finishing opponents and getting guys out of there like he would have at 160 or 154. So you have a bit of a duality there. Both guys coming into this fight in the, let's say, twilight of their careers, or maybe twilight of their primes, however you want to look at it. Canelo is going to be, I think, 35. Terence is 38. So you have a similar situation, different paths, and different struggles for both fighters. But when you look at who has to do more in this fight, it's clearly Terence Crawford, as far as what he's giving up and sacrificing to win this third undisputed championship and to try to beat Canelo, who has only been beat twice in his career, one of which was Floyd Mayweather being slick and tagging Canelo with counter punches when Canelo missed, being the smaller, lighter fighter and up there in age that was still able to take advantage of the youth and experience of Canelo Alvarez, but also just being a defensive maestro and able to counter off of that. Floyd is one of one. And then you have Dimitri Bivol, who was the bigger fighter, and the things that Canelo does very well didn't really hurt him too bad, right? The things that had carried Canelo up in division was his power and the ability to break an opponent down, maybe not stopping them in the early to mid part of fight.
This one's bigger than just a fight. It's a legacy war. Who you got? The fading king or the rising genius? Drop your pick in the comments, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more raw takes and fight breakdowns.